What's good, everyone? This is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Make sure to like and share this video throughout all social media platforms. It's a blessed day, this wonderful Saturday, and we're talking football. So Markquese Bell, I'm very confident that he will go into camp right now, that is, with a lot of motivation. Not only because he wasn't drafted, and we all know who observe football, watch film, etc., that Markquese Bell should have been at least drafted in the 4th round. At least. Now, some may say 3rd round to those I've talked to, but at least the 4th round. And they didn't even do that. There's not too many safeties. That is what you call balance. Yes, he's a hard-hitting safety, but he covers better than most safeties do. Now, can it be rectified more with his coverage? Of course. But he has a lot of potential. And I want to say shout out to Clarence Hill Jr. He's an editor for the Star Telegram. And there was a quote that Markquese Bell said, and he said, and I quote, "That is attached to me. I want to make people respect HBCU dudes and stop overlooking us, thinking we're lower ranked and lower competition." He's fed up. And you know what's so sad about this whole ordeal? There are people who claim they root for HBCUs, but throw shots at the talent that certain conferences have. You can't go fence jumping. You support the HBCU progress and what these athletes have to overcome, and that they do not have the same things as other PWIs. You either support what they're trying to do, or you could be the other folks who are haters. But you can't rattle the fence. I'm very confident that Markquese Bell will make a name for himself, and that he will show everyone who passed on him that they should have drafted him. What happened when Markquese Bell first announced he's going to sign with the Dallas Cowboys? Every single fan base, it seemed like, was like, dang, I wish he would have signed to our team. Well, your team could have signed him. Better yet, they could have drafted him, and none of this could have happened. But I made a video. Again, I made this video before the draft. I told you, do not wait for these HBCU draft prospects to slide. Because if they're a free agent, there's a good chance they may not go to your team. And it's a lot easier to just draft them. The Kansas City Chiefs could have drafted them. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I know they got a great defense. They could have drafted them. And many more. The Giants wanted him. They didn't draft him, but they were hoping for him to sign with their team. The Eagles, there was reports that they wanted him as an undrafted free agent. But you couldn't even draft him in the 6th or 7th round. And I know the Eagles had a fantastic draft, just like the Giants. But I'm putting it in perspective. It's a lot easier when you take that chance. And to all the black GMs out there, I want to say shout out to the 2 GMs that actually drafted HBCU prospects. The other 4, you got a lot of work to do. What's the use of having power when you can't even help your own? I'll repeat, what's the use of having power when you can't even help your own? The Dallas Cowboys have their starting safeties solidified with Jerron Kearse as well as Malik Hooker, who showed a lot of promise under Dan Quinn's system. And I got to say, Dan Quinn is one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. He relates to the players on his team. He's a teacher. He teaches them. He doesn't try to show them up or try to embarrass them. When they make a mistake, they know that they have their coach's undivided attention and that they don't want to let him down. And Dallas Cowboy fans, I'm telling you, this may be the last year that he will be the defensive coordinator, because a lot of teams will hire him as a head coach unless Jerry Jones gives him a bag that he couldn't refuse. Unless the Cowboys paid Dan Quinn like a head coach just to be a defensive coordinator. But Markquese Bell being able to be taught by Dan Quinn, showing him the ropes of the Cowboys defensive system, is going to bode well for him. But it starts with special teams. I mentioned this on my James Houston Detroit Lions video. The best way to make the 53-man roster is to be a special teams ace, to be dependable, to show up every day in the film room, attentive, ready to go. The NFL is a grown man's business, and there's a lot of pros who are trying to feed their families. This is what they have, and they're trying to make most of it. But I believe that Markquese Bell has what it takes to show the world you shouldn't have never passed on him. And let this be a lesson to all NFL teams that the talent level is improving each year for HBCUs. And that next year's draft, there's going to be a lot more than what you've seen this past year. And you don't want to be the team that says, man, we hope he falls out of the draft and we can get him as an undrafted free agent. If you do that next year, you're going to miss out on talent that can help your team. Think about it, NFL. I don't want to hear lip service. I don't want to hear this is progress. It's not progress. There were 7 to 8 players that should have been drafted. And I'm not going to celebrate token victories. I was not raised to be that way, and I would never have that mindset. But back on subject, Markquese Bell, if he can just make that last spot, number 53, or even higher, he's going to be solidified. Now, the Dallas Cowboys have given him a high number for an undrafted free agent. What is it, $200,000 plus bonuses and incentives? There's not a lot of undrafted free agents who's getting that type of dough. Now, I know it's not $1 million, but $200,000 is nothing to sneeze at. But Markquese Bell, if he could find a way to make that too deep, we already know Donovan Wilson is second string in Israel, the 6'5" safety from South Carolina that was drafted in the later rounds last season. He's there. But nothing is promised. Would it surprise me if Markquese Bell makes it to at least second string? It wouldn't surprise me. I seen him play against Jackson State. It was the reason why Jackson State only had 1 touchdown, even though they won the game. He was that dominant. That's who the Cowboys are getting. This is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Before I go, I want to say, everyone that's listening, y'all got to stay blessed. Be thankful for what you have. Love your neighbor, love your friends, love your family, and I'm out.